Saul begins with a deliberate refusal of spatial clarity, a submerged face, a flicker of blue light, the sound of strained breathing. These elements immerse the viewer in a state of sensory uncertainty. As Benjamin Poole writes, the audience is disorientated immediately. Here, perception itself becomes a form of confinement. The image functions not to reveal, but to restrict. The camera observes without comprehending, establishing what Poole describes as a kinetic, distinctive style of horror cinema. Visually, seeing is framed not as access to truth, but as spatial limitation. The bathroom's rigid geometry, the hard tiles arranged in a square pattern, constructs what calls the immediate connotation of a prison. In the overhead shot, the camera frames primarily the central corpse, while the surrounding space is compressed into peripheral geometry. This composition emphasizes both visual confinement and narrative focus. Comparatively, the geometric framing resembles the panopticon diagrams of Foucault, where observation is central and boundaries define control. The mise-en-scène transforms architectural order into psychological constraint, turning the set into a hostile arena. The camera's mobility contrasts sharply with the static bodies of Adam and Gordon. The camera is carefree, darting about the cell, soaring above a motionless body. The camera's strutting manipulation of space seems to mock Adam and Gordon's entrapment. Comparatively, the dynamic camera movement recalls Dziga Vertov's concept of the kino eye, in which the camera functions as an autonomous observer. In Saw, this mobility, combined with rigid architectural geometry, enforces the spatial hierarchy and psychological tension. Voyeurism is central to the film's visual system. That themes of voyeurism abound, with characters constantly watching each other through various means. The spectator becomes positioned within what he describes as a dark chamber, filled with screams and suffering from the screen in front. This framing constructs reciprocal observation, where the act of looking is both threatening and morally implicated. The puppet embodies the film's controlling gaze, puppet as Jigsaw's puppeteer Avatar, who seems to be a resurrection of Gignol, impishly presiding over scenes of gore-washed sadism. This connects to the film's exploration of notions of looking where everyone is being viewed, and their discretions will be punished. The camera's movement creates what identifies as an intensely managed audience positioning. The camera is often static. Its shots longer in the warehouse scenes, which strengthens our identification with the two characters. This approach invites the audience themselves to play a game while observing the controlled mise-en-scène. The visual design creates a world that is hyper-real, yet visually compelling. The glowing textures and grimy mise-en-scène establish a distinctive look, comparable to the gorgeous Italian cinematography of Luciano Cavalli or Joan Lorenzo Battaglia. During Gordon's self-amputation, the film's formal order breaks down. It's how the camera is situated on the bathroom floor, visually expressing the situation. The Doctor is at his lowest point. The composition fractures under what he terms the Darwinian ethos of the Saw universe. Violence operates simultaneously as narrative event and formal rupture. In the final shot, the edges of the frame often smudge to a bleak blackness, which bleeds the film into the dark of the auditorium itself, a non-diegetic, real-world chamber. This creates what he describes as, "Our position is as inescapable as theirs." Each frame operates as what Poole might call a closed system, both spatial trap and moral diagram. Composition consistently emphasizes the film's themes of entrapment and survival, making visual what he identifies as the core question.
How much blood will you shed to stay alive, Paul? Live or die? Make your choice.